For the most realistic steering system available on the market, look no further than Sim Steering from Leo Bodnar. Designed and hand-built at the home of British Motorsport's Silverstone circuit, it's extensively used by professional driver training centres and race teams including Formula 1 since 2010. The high precision and completely linear response coupled with high strength provides the ultimate in realistic steering force feedback. Visit simsteering.com.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatec, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Hello and welcome to ARL-TV for this round one of the Sim Racers Asia GT series. I'm Alex Simpson. I'm joined in the commentary box by Mark Noble and Dean Prescott. Hello again, fellas. Round two of our Super Saturday, so to speak.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, so the guys are in the GT series, multi-class, so 3 cars out there. We've got the bit of a love kiss, should we just say there. So we've got the Roughs out there, as well as the McLarens and some of the Ford GTs. We're at Road Atlanta today. It's a 30-lap race. Tricky circuit. Obviously, the GT series and the official championships was here. Was it last week or the week before now? So, guys, probably quite familiar with this, familiar setups. What are we going to look out for today, Mark?
It's actually a pretty nice track for the GTs. We raced it last week in round 1 in the officials. Yeah, it's going to be fast and furious, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it looks like with just a little bit of cloud cover over there today. So nice and warm, barely any wind to speak of, so should be pretty straightforward for the drivers, no elements getting involved. Dean, you're a fan of the rough car. What's your opinions on the car and the changes that have happened since they first launched it?
Yeah, it was a huge thing for iRacing to bring the roughs. And it was perfect through the Daytona 2.4. Then come the update, obviously, to update the McLaren to get it on the same tyre model. And also to change the gearbox for the rough, which, in theory, actually killed it.
Yeah, I think some guys have been expressing some issue with it not downshifting properly, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what sort of, what's that causing, what problems is that causing for the guys on track?
Basically, it's just coming into the corners as you're coming to downshift. It's got an auto blip built into the ECU, and it's just not blipping it enough for it to select the gear.
Okay, so we're going to get some people perhaps get stuck in neutral, things like that. Maybe not downshifting, so might be braking deep. So, with that in mind, are we expecting the McLarens to have the advantage here today, or the Fords?
Probably the Ford actually, because that's had the big update in the last build, not the one we just had, and everyone was raving over it, saying it's now the perfect car to drive. But that's also lacking a bit of top-end speed, I believe. So. Yeah, it'll be a tough one.
Yeah, so just, obviously we're fairly new to this series as well as new to the drivers, so, I'll just give a shout out now, just to say if we pronounce any names wrong, by all means, jump on at the end of the race, or just let us know how to do that properly, and we'll make sure we correct it for next week's race. But, from what I can tell, we're a mixed car, single class championship, 11 rounds. So starting here today at Road Atlanta, so 1 each week. We're at Canadian Motorsport Park for next week. Fairly just straightforward. The cars seem to have been matched on performance by using some of the weight ballast that we can apply to them. So from what I was looking in practice, the cars look very evenly matched. So I think still the bulk of the cars out there are going to be the roughs by the looks of it. It seems to be the popular one at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting championship. I think we were touting an idea very similar for an Australian championship, and it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun. So it's nice to see Club Asia basically getting this all set up and organised. Just been joined in the commentary box by Lee Thompson. Good afternoon, Lee. Hope you're sorted all your internet issues out.
Yeah, I will promise not to disappear again.
For anyone tuning in, this is ARL-TV. We always do have one little glitch. It's just our token thing. So I think we managed to salvage one at the start of it with the sim not reporting the positions properly. It's coming across as multi-class rather than single class. So I think we've got to work around for that. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah. Lee, I think you did a couple of races here in the rough when it was the GT series was here. What's the car and track combination like?
Great is the short answer. It feels fast and frantic here, bouncing over the curbs, very bumpy circuit generally. You get a little bit of a breather on the back straight, but otherwise it feels pretty hectic on the lap, but very good fun.
Yeah, and so from your opinion, obviously the cars before they were weight matched. Which is the quicker one out there?
I think it's pretty close. I mean, in the official series, of course, it was heavily weighted towards the rough in terms of participation, just because it's a new car and everyone's enjoying it. So there wasn't many McLarens out there, but the ones that were spread fairly evenly through the field. So anyone in the McLaren, I think, isn't necessarily at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I was hearing rumours that perhaps the McLaren had a little bit more unstable over the curbs this season than it has after the new build, so catching a few drivers out. But I think now, a couple of weeks down, the drivers are getting used to how to set the car up and work their way around that little flaw.
And I think if it is more unstable over the curbs, and it is going to affect you quite considerably here at Road America. There's places where you want to use the curbs and a couple of places where you don't, but if you catch them on a couple of laps, then perhaps you can have more of a problem than in the McLaren.
Yeah, we're Road Atlanta, as we're at, but I'll let you off. Close enough. Very, very, very tricky. I know sometimes the few cars that I've driven this place at, like you say, you can just catch a curb just awkwardly anyway in any car, and it can put you in the wall. The walls aren't too far away. There's not much runoff area as well, so going down that back straight, we'll have to keep an eye. I've seen many an incident where guys are, say, 2 or 3 wide, and the walls just push everybody straight back into the circuit. Quite a large turnout for today's first round as well, so I expect to see a very, very busy track the first few laps, and drivers just need to settle themselves down, get used to racing against the competitors they might not have raced before.
So it looks like mixed in with the predominantly Asian runners, and we have got a few people from different time zones as well. I'm seeing Mikko Nassi, Finland. We know he's very, very quick, don't we, Alex? And Ren Estrellas, who we saw in the V8s.
Yeah, V8s. He, I think where he finished earlier on today, so terrible memory, already forgotten. But yeah, no, it's nice to see a few drivers in a couple of series that we're doing. So, but yeah, Mikko's certainly a driver that we've raced before. We know he's very, very fast, so one to watch out for. Yeah, it'd be nice to catch a few new names that we don't normally see, and just see what they're made of today.
Have we talked at all yet, Alex, about a little bit on the rules of this particular series or anything?
Yeah, we briefly touched on just explaining the cars have been weight balanced, matched if you would have for performance. So, and we're 11 rounds. I haven't said too much about the point system. Let's just bring that up very, very quickly.
Yeah. I think the highlight in the point system is the fact that you get a bonus for clean driving. So if you get a 0 incidents in a race, you get 5 bonus points, and equally you have penalties. So if you get to 15 instants, then you start in pit, and if you get 30 instants, then you get disqualified.
Yeah, there's also just worth pointing out there's some prizes up there for the victor of the championship, and also the highest place driver, 1500 I rating and below as well. So gives some incentive for the guys with slightly lower I rating to have a little show, as we see a nice bit of carnage coming onto the main straight there. But yeah, also just want to give a bit of a shout out to the series as well. I know that they're looking for some sponsors as well. We've picked them up as going to be broadcasting for what I believe to be the whole series. I think we're just a couple of dates we're a little bit sketchy on, but for the most part every race is going to be broadcast full feature, as well as a good portion of the qualifying. So if you're looking to sponsor a new series in and around that neck of the woods, then by all means get in touch with Mark Lang. Get yourself your logo over there, or maybe a little advert video, and we'll make sure that we put it on at the start of all the broadcasts. Yeah, so to be fair, fellas, it's our first GT style broadcast of the year. I'm looking forward to it actually. I mean, we did some fantastic races last year. To name a few, the Bathurst one was pretty spectacular. So I'm looking quite forward to this series. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, and if the official series here at Road Atlanta is anything to go by, we're going to have some great racing. It really was a lot of fun. Last week, 10 days ago, running here in the Rift track. Everyone's very closely matched. Car is ideal for this sort of circuit, dealing with the bumps. Big, heavy GT-based car. I'm looking forward to it. And we've got some quick guys in here as well. Current fastest time is Ilham Halabi with a 19.4. He's actually running in the McLaren. Yaron Wong then in second, also running in 19.4. So just 600s between them at the minute.
Just as you say that, we've actually got a new leader for qualifying. That's Eno on a 1:19.3.
Yeah, just over a tenth of a second quicker at the moment. I think the grid looks particularly close. I mean, this is one thing that we've noticed with the official GT series, that it's going to be extremely close and tight racing. Yeah, I have to say, just watching the cars go around the road Atlanta, I think this is going to be a great race as well. It's been a long time since I've been at this circuit, but just watching the guys go around, just remember actually what a great layout it is. But the high curves and things like that really do chuck an element in there. A lot of people can dislike the circuit just because of that factor, but the layout itself is great. That sort of second sector sweeping corners up to that tricky left-hander where you want a car that's set up to take that curb, and then the very, very tricky right-hander leading onto the back straight that seems to tighten up no end when you get there. Very easy to overshoot. So it's it's going to be very interesting to see where the cars are quickest as well. Obviously some will be a bit lighter than others, so we might see them a bit more nimble through the corners, while others are going to be quicker down the straightaways.
There's a lot of elevation change at this circuit as well. You really do crest and dip at key places. So you're coming out the S's in that early part of a lap, as you crest to the top of the hill. Curves as well to deal with, and the car really can get unsettled very easily. Talking about fuel a second ago, I think Alex say they're restricted on fuel, I think, aren't they? So 45 litres for the Riff, 50.7 for the MP4, and 90 litres for the Ford GT. So that will be interesting to see how that affects various strategies through the race as well.
Yeah, we'll see how closely they've matched the fuel actually, whether it's a case of they just want to try and get them all sort of pitting around the same time, or whether it's a way to perhaps even them out over the long haul.
Yeah, I've been in both style of races where you've had the weight added to the car or the fuel limited. And I must say it's the fuel limitation that works better than the weight of the car being added. But yeah, coming round now for the... Well, there's the end of qualifying actually, so people are on the last laps.
And still, Inho John is still got that 10th gap, as you said a minute ago, Dean, for that current pole position. So we'll see if anyone can have him.
Car just randomly stopped in the middle of the back straight, not sure what that was about. Looks like someone got caught up in that, looks like it was Shane.
Yeah, he's still carrying on, so maybe he just missed it. Any contact obviously will invalidate his lap, so see if that was any improvements at all. Doesn't appear to have been. Yeah, so the final few drivers now just finishing up their qualifying lap. And we'll give you a quick rundown of the top 10 standings.
I think that's going to be everyone done. I'm not seeing anyone on a particularly quick lap. Looks like we've got Alex Ching still going around, but now he's stopping. So everybody's done.
Okay then, round 1 of qualifying is over. Lee, you're the man that's with the best pronunciation of names, I'm afraid.
I was going to say we've got a good challenge today for the Asia series. So yeah, current pole position then is Inho Yun in with a 1 minute 19.3. So yeah, pole position for him. Congratulations. Second on the grid is going to be Ilham Halabi with a 19.4. Third, Yaron Yong. Fourth, Fahad Ghafoor. Fifth, Andika Rama Maluna. Sixth, Iwan Kim. Seventh, Miko Nasi. We'll see if he moves forward during the race. Shows that we've got, it is a strong grid here for a name that we're all very familiar with to be, not right at the very sharp end. 8th, Yonghil Yong. 9th, Kevin Huang. 10th, Fanny Lazardi. 11th, Nazrili Safri Pajol. 12th, Riven Tang. 13th, Mohad Anim. 14th, John Mateo. 15th, Ren Estrellas. 16th, Chandra Yong. 17th, Mod Sata. 18th, Taewong Ha. 19th, Stefan Bacard. 20th is Dihed Konkoro. 21st, Yongha Eel. Oh, that was a bad one, I do apologise. 22nd, Dongwu Gang. 23rd, Alex Chang. 24th, Pal Belesko. And then we have Jacek Prezek, Puji Sartano, Shane Reynolds, Dewa Lumba, Mark Lang, and nobody else has put in a time. I apologise for the severe butchering of a number of names now, I'm sure, but we'll get going as we go through the race.
Yeah, we said at the start that, we might do that. By all means, come in, correct us. We won't be offended. Us Brits, not always the best when it comes to pronouncing names, but yeah, Lee, I think you did a pretty damn good job there, mate. Right, round 1 then. Sim Racer Asia's GT Series. About to get underway. Final few people just taken to the grid. Tricky start for those a bit further back. Got the last turn to deal with.
Yeah, it seems we've got a standing start as well, which is a little bit tricky. I'm not sure what the GT's like, but the rough is slightly better than the MP4.
Yeah, and
so
interestingly, we've got MP4's front row.
Yeah, lights are on, revs are building. We're away here for round 1. Looks like everybody got a pretty decent start off the line there.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a slower start from the second position there, but he's going to hang on around the outside through turn 1, trying to keep that second place. I think he's just going to struggle a little bit.
Got a bit in the back.
We've got further.
Okay, so at the front, Inho Yon is hold on to that first position, but Yaron Rong got a great start and has leapt into second position from third. Now Halabi's under pressure for fourth as well, so Maluna is looking to push alongside of the head towards the back straight, but this settles in for now.
Yeah, everybody just trying to find their feet out there. A few incidents early on.
Yeah, and the front two just breaking away a little bit at the minute. Yaron Wong looking to make a move into chicane. He's going to have to go around the outside if it's going to happen, as Young defends, but Wong just breaks a little bit early and just keeps him safe now. But in the back we've got a change for third position, so Malona takes that third spot from Halabi.
Yeah, a lot of cars trying to funnel through that first corner there. Very, very tricky into that blind hill blind uphill right-hander. We'll get it out eventually. I'm not surprised to see a little incident or two there. But now the field has started to slowly spread out a little bit. We're going to see some interesting racing here today. Interesting to see front two different cars, both pulling away.
Yeah, it's good to see a pretty even split at the minute towards the front. Yes, I'm looking through the top 10 and it looks fairly 50-50 between the McLarens and the Riffs. Not seeing many, if any, 42s.
Yeah, there was a couple at the back, so they definitely look like perhaps not suited for this circuit.
And battling for first position again as they come to the chicane. So again, Wong is going to try and go around the outside. Just trying to hang on a little bit longer this time, but ends up slotting back. He might be able to get a decent run out the chicane onto the front straight.
Yeah, interestingly, it looks like they're actually holding each other up a little bit now as well, as the pack slowly starts to catch back up. Definitely seems to be there's a few more McLarens out there towards the front, so perhaps just got the edge a little bit here today.
Got a car coming out of the pits. Let's hope he can make it out safely, which he has. It's a nice gathering of cars coming down to the bottom of the S's now, coming down the double right-hander. Plenty of little battles forming.
Yeah, we've got a good.
Pretty sure it'll turn into a big one in a minute.
Yeah, we've got a good battle for fifth position at the minute. So we have Gafour in fifth, Miko Nassi in sixth, and Yongwil Yong in seventh. All just within a second of each other or so. Miko Nassi looking to move forward, takes the inside lines ahead towards the chicane down the back straight.
Yeah, you've also got Fanny and Kevin just battling behind, but also catching up.
Miko Nassi looks to be late on the brakes, getting into chicane, but Yong looks to, or Gafour rather, looks to hold in there, but has to back out of it at the end. He's going to lose another position to Yong. So Gafour's going to lose 2 places there in chicane, and he's going to be under pressure from cars further back as well. So we've got Lazadi looking to come through and capitalise as well. So Miko Nassi up to 5th, Yong up to 6th, and Gafour is held onto that 7th position for now, but it does run wide on turn 1 and gives Lazadi a sniff again, but not quite yet.
Yeah. Oh!
That's a big one, we see it on camera.
Really. Just about to comment on saying that the McLarens are doing really well avoiding the curbs, but that's what you get if you hit one.
Yeah, and Lazardi there's got severe damage front and rear, so he's going to try and limp back to the pits and get one of his 2 free fast toes.
Just see if we can get an instant replay of that.
And whilst you're lining that up back at the front, we've got a battle again into the chicane as Yon and Wong go toe to toe. Who's going to be latest and bravest on the brakes? This time Wong looks to be a little bit deeper, but again has to slot in and they stay line astern again.
So that's shaking up that mid-pack, which was looking like it was going to be a good battle, but we've got another one here, further down the field. As my camera flicks away in typical fashion.
Yeah, we've got John trying to chase down Dongwoo here. I have to say, well, I spotted the Vodafone liveried car earlier on, so they've done a fantastic job on that.
And just watching the leaders, Alex, you're telling us about the front two just holding each other up a little bit as they squabble, and that does mean that Malona in third has really made this a 3-car group now, and he's going to be looking to challenge in the next laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Wong's a rough sandwich, or he's the meat in a McLaren sandwich, shall we say? Perhaps that will relieve just a little bit of a pressure now that he's got someone to keep an eye out behind him.
Yeah, this is really the time that Yo needs to really pin a couple of laps, as you say, and make the most of Wong just being distracted slightly, maybe see if he can pull a little bit of a gap. The front three really have broken away a little bit now from Halabi in fourth, while Miko Nassi is trying to close on these cars in front in fifth. Last time by Nassi was half a second quicker nearly than Halabi in fourth.
Yeah, actually the fastest man round as well that last lap, so...
Yeah, the only car in the 19s it seems. And it looks like Wong's got a decent run out that final corner onto the back straight, so he's going to be pressuring Yon as they come down here. You get a decent tow, a decent slipstream down here, such a long back straight, and he's closing, going to have to go to the outside again if he wants to make a move at the chicane, I think. And not quite as close this time by, so he's just going to try and get a better line through the chicane, get a better exit, which looks like it's going to work pretty well. Just loses a little bit on the very end there.
It definitely looks like the McLaren might just have the edge, top speed here. Certainly there, it looked like he'd picked up the draft, but once got a little bit further down the straight, it didn't look like he was closing in at all. So it's going to be tricky for him, and I think it's going to be all about perhaps forcing him to make a mistake here.
And just as you say, making a mistake, I mean, Yon goes very, very deep into turn 3 there, but just about manages to keep it all on the black stuff and make his way through. And Wong's got a great run out of the crest of the S's there, but it's not quite going to be enough, I don't think, for the double right-hander hit. And actually, being that they weren't side by side last time by, the front three really stepped up their pace a little bit, all in the 19s that time.
Yeah, I was just comparing our lap times from last weekly. We were in the 18s and 17s, as we've got to move here for the lead. Going round the outside into the final chicane.
And Wong makes it stick this time, he's able to hold on to that line, but again, McLaren, great traction out the corner actually, and now Wong is under pressure for the third position for the second round. Looked like Wong had that move done. He managed to hold that inside line for the chicane, but this was a bit cautious on the power. Didn't want to run out wide into the leader.
Yeah, great driving there actually, side by side there. He saw the threat there and thought, well, I can just stick it around the outside, and I'll have a better run coming onto the main straight. But still under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, so just thinking about those times a minute ago, Dean, I think we're running default weather here, aren't we? And I'm not really feeling that the week-to-week weather changes in the official series are having much of an effect on the lap times in these GT cars, I think. Certainly not compared to the single-seaters anyway.
Yeah, again, here Wong, another good run onto the back straight. That's a bit closer. He wants the inside line, but Young's protecting it well. Needs to do that.
It's a better run out of the final chicane.
But even with that, so I think the McLaren's got great traction coming over the crest out of the chicane there. He does seem to be able to just pull away even if Wong gets a better initial exit, it seems.
Yeah, there is a horrible bump on the inside of the final chicane, which if you get it wrong, it will actually send the rough pogoing across the track, so maybe that's what he caught on the previous lap. Well, still, he's putting the pressure on.
And just looking back slightly, the next decent little squabble we've got going on is between 6th and 7th position between Gaff4 in 6th and Huang in 7th, Ruff and McLaren MP4. Gaff4, I think, is recovering slightly from. Did he get involved slightly in the incident? I think that's it.
Yeah, just having a look a little bit further back down as well. 12th and 13th. Having a little bit of a battle. First of, as far as I can tell, first of the Ford GTs.
Yeah, Wong just finding it a little bit difficult to find a place to pass this MP4. He does seem to have the edge and top speed over the rough, but the fact that the rough is in the draft should really help it along. But you see through the S's, closes up a little bit, but it's just down this back straight. He doesn't seem to get the run off the double right-hander.
Yeah, it definitely has a much better line coming through that corner onto the back straight. Every time gets a bit of a run.
So he just needs to stick in that toe just a little bit longer. You have better luck into the final chicane, but coming around now for lap 11 of 30 laps.
Yeah, third of the way through. Race is ticking by at a rate of knots, actually. Doesn't seem too much that Luna can do to hold on. He really needs those guys to battle a little bit more, I think, for him to just to sort of keep up. All the drivers, all the top 5 drivers in the 1 minute 19s. Quickest person out there was Wong that time by as well, so Mika Nasi slowly catching in on these guys now. 4.5 seconds behind, was some 6 seconds a bit earlier on, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this top 5. It's slowly working its way back to each other.
As they're coming up on a back marker, which I think is Mark. He's instructed them to pass right, but he's not backing out. There we go.
Yeah, slows down, lets third place through there as well. Keeps out of the way.
And Miko Nasi is all over the back of Halabi now, looking to move up into that 4th position. So I think next time they get onto the main straight, we can expect a move to be happening.
Yeah, he's having a little look, just showing his nose now.
There's a lot better line through the S's, and you can see those got the run.
So he's
Oh,
switched back.
Halabi spins coming over the crest, coming out the S's. Really feeling that pressure from Nasi, but he kept it out the wall. Just needs to wait for a gap, and he'll be spinning it around and rejoining. So we're making Nasi up to 4th now.
This is the closest Wong's been for the past few laps. He's sitting in that draft, like we said.
Lots of movement going on there, sort of weaving back and forth, which isn't exactly gonna help his momentum, maybe.
Could have possibly had a little look on the inside. Still thinks better of it. Gets a good run through the final chicane.
But you are right, Dean. The McLaren over that crest definitely seems to be the more of the planted of the two. pulls a little bit away through that section.
Has to be very careful at the top of the hill. You can easily get a ×1 over an off track. Go an inch more and you get in a slowdown. Plus the rough, it does like to bounce over that as well, so...
Just want to say to the guys further back, might be watching this back a bit later, don't worry, we'll cover a lot more of the action. It's just right now, the battle for the lead is where it's at. It does look like Kevin's having a bit of a battle for 5th place.
Oh, blown engine.
I was about to say, I heard a bang there. Who was that?
That was Wong.
That was second,
so,
yeah.
second position, blown his engine. Yeah, he's jumping back to the pits, getting a faster. That seemed quite a weird time as well. It must have been on an upshift, so he must have really come to the limit of damaging his engine, and then just that one shift was the final straw. Quite difficult to do that, I think, in the track, because with the auto blip system that the car has, quite a lot of the time it won't let you shift when it's too early. So you got to try quite hard, I think, to cause any damage on the downshifts.
Unless it's damage from hitting a few curbs, and he's not quite noticed the water temperatures rising.
I was going to say maybe temperature, so he's been in the slipstream, the whole race. Perhaps that temperature's been getting higher. I don't know. It's not really something I've come across in these cars.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless,
Something that's often overlooked actually on the roadside is the temperatures. I mean, any oval racers out there will always keep a close eye on that. We don't tend to pay too much attention to it. It does happen.
So that means then that Yoon is having a slight respite for a moment in P1, but Malone has gained quite a lot of time on this lap in P2. And then look who we've got in third now, Nico Nassi, gently making his way forward.
Yeah, guys are coming up against a lot more traffic out there now as well, so starting to spread them out a little bit. Let's just check back in, see what else we've got. I did mention earlier on that Fayad and Kevin were having a bit of a battle. They're still going at it. Just the 0.3 of a second separate them as they cross the line.
There's a great shot for you, Alex. 13th and 14th. Two Marlboro cars. One a MP4 and one a Rough.
Yeah, and I mean, scrolling now, I mean, you point out 13th. Yeah, that's a nice little battle going on. Otherwise, it was a battle. Here we come, the McLaren of the Marlboro liveried. Looks to make a move up the inside, so he's up to 13th. That's right. I was in the middle of saying there's that little battle going on now, which might be over. I think the MP4 scampered away already. Battle between the leaders and battle between Gafford and Kevin, but otherwise, that's everywhere else is pretty well strung out.
Well, Miko Nassi just actually pushed that lap car out of the way.
Yeah,
he's actually in the pits now.
I was about to say, picked himself some front end damage up at the same time. Should get that repaired straight away, so takes his pit stop. Let's see when we're expecting anybody else in. Yeah, interesting. I thought we'd start to see the front two separate a little bit here, but actually Maluna's keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, I wonder if Maluna was just biding his time and maybe anticipating those front two getting into a bit of a squabble and just hanging back a bit, which seems pretty sensible in a long race. And As I said, maybe that explains why he's now able just to hold in with Ewan in front.
Yeah, looks like we've got a few more cars coming into the pits, so I think Miko perhaps did come in a lap or two earlier than what he was planning, but it's not going to make too much difference. I think he realised it's important to keep the car fresh. These guys have all still got a pit.
And we just missed it on the stream, I think, but a lap ago, Gap 4 had an issue into turn 1, so he's dropped way down the field now. Just overcooked it into turn 1 and run out to the grass, so Kevin is all on his own now.
Yeah, up into third place as well. Chooses some pits. Keep an eye on those two. You never know what might happen.
And the leaders caught up in all kinds of traffic going through the double right-hander, just about managing to get out of the way, but no doubt causing a bit of distraction as they've got roofs side by side in front of them as well to deal with.
I was about to say, and there's about 4 or 5 cars in front of them as well.
Now is a good time to make your pit stop before you really get to all those cars.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, Lee. I think if that was me, I'd be thinking, oh, it might be worth pitting now, I might get a bit of free space, or I might be able to jump in the box. So, and he is, well, leaders in, both in, yeah. So, and the back marker follows him in there as well, so.
Quite a tricky pit lane entrance there. Obviously didn't have it to deal with in the official series, with there not generally being scheduled stops, but it's, yeah, you've got to take it quite carefully, avoiding the grass on the entry.
Yeah, just going to jump on board with Miko. Obviously, he was a few seconds back, pitted in early. Hasn't had to deal with some of the traffic. So let's see where they come out. He's still just going down the back straight though at the moment, so got some way to go if you can keep an eye on the leaders. Through the chicane, coming up over the hill.
Yep, both just stationary still in the pit lane, waiting for him to be released.
Yeah,
and Maluna's away first. Maluna jumps Yon. Yon's having a much slower stop.
I'm wondering if he got like a hold penalty or something like that in the stop.
And so Miko Nassi jumps Yon as well. So Maluna comfortably in front of the two of them.
Oh, he's spun!
All that hard work in the pit lane. So he now then stops behind Yon. So Miko Nassi was well and truly the winner after that little round of pit stops. So that's going to put him into a net first position, isn't it?
Yeah, well indeed. I think he played it right with the strategy call there, getting in before the traffic got a bit heavy.
Kevin Hunt has got a problem. Is he out of fuel? He's crawling down the front straight. Back straight.
Looks like it. Yeah, sounds very much like that. He'll be kicking himself for trying to push it that one lap too long. Get it in the box. Done. Don't take the chances. He was in a great position there.
It was a long way from completing a lap as well, so that must have just been a complete error of us not realising that it was time to stop. He was half a lap short.
Brought a few new faces a bit further up the grid. Just we've got the leaders just putting a lap.
Yeah, Miko Nassi is now officially in first position, but with Yon all over the back of him, he got caught quite badly in the final corner by the 4GT that they were negotiating there.
Yeah, these two got quite a gap now, 5 seconds back. Maluna, after his little spin, he'll be kicking himself, got himself into first position in the pits.
It'll be interesting now to see the top speed of McLaren with the tow. So we saw him holding off Wong earlier on, who had the tow. So how much is he going to close? Yeah, he's looking to come up alongside into the chicane. So deep on the brakes on the inside, Miko Nassi lets him go. So Yon takes over the lead again. Only 1 lap or 3/4 of a lap that Miko Nassi led.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Miko not defending the inside there. Perhaps thought he had enough of a gap. These guys have been very closely matched on pace throughout the first stint, so we'll see how that all pans out. One of the Vodafone roughs comes out of the pits in the background.
Right, so now that the pit stops are shaken out, let's have a quick run through the standings. So as we've been watching, Inho Yon has just taken over the lead, so he's in first position. Mikko Nassi just a couple of tenths behind in second. Malone now recovering from his spin after his pit stop is in third. He's quite a way back from the lead too, so he's all on his own. And strolling a long way back trying to find the next position. And the next position is actually Dongwoo Gang, who has just made a place on Kunkuro. So Gang in fourth, Kunkuro in fifth. Sixth is a recovering Halabi from his spin earlier on. Seventh is Pajot. Eighth is Gafor, so he's lost quite a few places as well. He had that spin at turn 1. Kevin Huang recovering after his fast toe, getting back to the pits in 9th. And in 10th position is John Anthony Mateo.
There's John's name just not quite fitting in on our overlay system. Might have to shrink the font there for you, John, just so we can get your name all in there. But yeah, top 10 spreading out a little bit now. I have to say, I thought we were going to have some real nose to tail stuff, but it's been quite a few instances, and I think we kind of expected that round 1. Usually is the case. Drivers just finding their feet, realising who they can race close with, whose internet connection needs just a little bit more room.
Yeah, I mean the leaders have elapsed up to 13th position now, so more than half the field.
Yeah, Maluna doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the front two now as well, now that he's sort of lost the sight of where the guys are braking and things like that, which can help just a fraction, a little bit of draft as well. Just seems to be lapping just a few tenths of a second slower. Although I said that the last time by, he was slightly quicker. But front two both just stuck in 19s. Hundredths of a second between them. Yeah, I'm not sure where Mika's going to try and get himself past. Looks like he's just struggling to sort of keep onto the tail right at the moment rather than actually challenge. Although he gets a bit of slipstream down that back straight. It's very close. 9 laps to go.
Yeah, 9 laps to go, and this is really the only battle we've currently got in the whole field. 10th, 11th, 12th, 9th, 10th and 11th aren't a huge amount of time apart, but not really anything developing quite yet. It's just Inho Yon in P1 and Mikko Nassi in P2 keeping each other company.
Oh, and we've got 10th place has just blown an engine, I think. Yes, as a rule. So it just goes to the relief road, trying to get it back. I'm pretty sure he's going to get DQ'd for taking the shortcut, short version. I'm not sure he'll even get to the pits. His car is in a right mess there. I'm not sure what happened. It's crabbing all over the place as well. Puffing smoke. Just what some of the drivers want. Yeah, it just goes to show this Road Atlanta circuit is definitely taking its toll. Got 9 drivers so far retired as far as I can see. Several multiple laps down.
Yeah, 9 drivers retired is pretty good going with 2 fast tires as well. So just in the last lap and a half or so, Ewan has just broken away slightly from Nassi, so Nassi is almost a second behind now as they come up to a few back markers again, see if they're going to interfere at all. It's going to be Lazardi in his Marlborough skin and Bacade, who is actually got a nice little battle there for 10th 11th minute between Bacade in the roof and Lazardi in the MP4.
Concora actually had a spin in front of him and he T-boned him, so that was his problem.
Ah, gutted. Nothing you can do when you hit them that hard.
So Lazardi looking to make a move before even the chicane, and in fact the car here was fighting position for, just let him go to let the leaders go. There's something about hearing these riffs echo around the track that does make it feel a lot more authentic. If I think about being at a track, I would have definitely seen a Porsche engined car at some point travelling around, and it's just a sound that you somehow expect to hear.
I have to say they did a pretty good job with the sounds of the car. Something I know the whole community is asking that they try and develop a few more out there. Don't want to see any repeat sounds used, as has happened.
Yeah, Concora's back on track and he's down to 12, so he didn't come too bad out of it.
Yeah, still the front 2 battle away. I want to get past the back marker here, and do. Took him a lap or so to get on, just goes to show you the kind of pace Zadri's got. But yeah, Maluna still at 5.5 seconds back. Hasn't been able to do anything to close the gap after his spin. Looks like you're only just a little bit out of shape through the S's there. Miko closes right up. Might have a little look going into the corner. I think he's too far back. Does just popping his nose out just to spot his braking points. Yeah, still not quite close enough. Thought there, just having a little look at it, that might get a run.
Right, so as we watch this battle between the lead 2 now, then we're going to do a lap on board with Mikko Nassi as he looks to find a way past Jön. So come onto the front straight, Nassi runs wide onto the grass. Here's turn 1, very, very quick. Little dab on the brakes, down a gear or 2 perhaps, depending on the car. Hold that tight line initially, try and cut back as early as you can to get a good run now into this 2nd or 3rd gear. Slow right-hander, curb on the inside, you've got to be very careful with Nassi. Very, very squirrely. Down the S's now, flat if you get the line right. Nassi has a little bit of a lift, and then here's this tricky left-handed crest. Up over the crest here, the car's very, very light, bouncing over the curbs as well. Nassi's still right behind the leader. Double right-hander, brake just at the line, down a gear, let it roll through. You can carry quite a lot of momentum into that first corner, but then a deceptively tight 2nd right-hander leading onto the back straight. So that's the important exit you've got to get right. and Nassi gets a great run coming out of that corner. Let's see the difference now in the toe. It's a shame that Yoon has got a slight toe maybe from the cars in front, but Nassi gets to the inside, side by side now as they come to chicane. Yoon disappears from view in the cockpit screen, so Nassi holds the centre of the track. Going to brake just at the line here, down 3 gears, cut the curb on the left, and then avoid the curb on the right. That will spit you out a little bit. Nassi makes a position, it seems, cresting as we come to the final corner. Flat through this final corner, a little bit of curb on the right, and that's a lap done, and Nassi takes the lead.
Yeah, fantastic lap there. What a perfect lap for us to do an on-board with as well. Gets the move done. 3 laps remaining. I don't think it's over yet by any means. A few back markers ahead as well. Certainly not what Mikko's going to want. Needs a bit of clean track now to see if he can pull a gap.
These two in front at least aren't battling for positions, so hopefully they're just going to get straight out of the way. But Nassi has to take avoiding action, takes to the grass on the outside there. Didn't lose any if much time, I don't think. And yeah, leader's able to get through relatively unscathed, it looks like. As Yoon has the back marker come across him slightly at the end of the straight by.
Yeah, actually I think Mikko come out of that best. Yoon's not been able to get such a good run on this back straight, so a little bit of breathing room. Might just get a couple of laps now just to try and pull away. Just still in the slipstream, so we'll close back up a little bit down this straight. But yeah, Lazardri slowly closing in on John Anthony up ahead as well. Those guys look like going to have a bit of battle going on. Very, very close here, coming onto the start-finish line. Obviously these guys a lap down now. Two laps remaining for Mikko to hold on.
Now Yoon is all over the back of him, so he's not going to be giving up this particularly easy. He needs to be as close as he can coming out of that second right hand of it we saw leading onto the back straight. That's obviously his one time to focus on lining up a run. He lost a little bit of time just coming out of the S's there, but he can still gain it on the brakes here into this sharp right hander.
Yeah, I think that's where the rough is on its own going over that very, very high curb after the S's. A little bit too far back, I think, to get a move. We'll see how quick this McLaren is.
They're closing all the time, but it's not going to quite be enough for this lap. So he's going to have one more opportunity to line up and move down the back straight there, and then it's we're going to see how do or die the choice he makes. Is he going to, if he has a sniff, is he just going to go for it? Is he just going to, be sure that it's a solid opportunity? Nassi's going to get caught out with the back marker here, I think, as they come into turn 3 in a moment. Nassi badly blocked, and Yoon, not surprisingly, almost goes into the back of Nassi. I think they just about get away with it there. Back marker just completely unaware of where he is and who else is around. Poor Nassi. Oh, that is just... you could see it coming, but that's unfortunate. I wonder if... bit of sportsmanship. I wonder if Yoon's just going to sit here and just let Nassi continue on. It's conceivable. That was a real shame. I could see that coming obviously 20 seconds before, couldn't I? Yeah,
it was pretty poor from the back marker there. Get yourself out of the way. Don't try and hold up the leaders, especially not on the last lap of the race as well. It doesn't look like he's necessarily getting it. I mean, Mikko's getting the toe off the car ahead. I think you're right, Lee. He might have just gone...
I'll let you have this, mate.
Yeah.
Which I think would be very sporting and quite right. So yeah, I think Yoon is just getting close, but perhaps I'm reading it wrong. But yeah, looks like Nassi's going to hold on, I think.
Yeah, one good thing about the rough is that they are pretty hardy.
Congratulations.
Very close across the line. Mikko Nassi takes the win. Fantastic driving. Very, very lucky to hold on to it. Good job that that wasn't a blowout or anything else like that we've seen. But yeah, fantastic round. Maluna comes across in 3rd place. Might have been so much more for him had he not had that spin coming out of the pits.
Maloon is still pretty happy, mate, on the channel.
Good to hear. Dongwoo in 4th as well, looks pretty happy with that. Good opening round for him. Halabi as well, obviously recovering. He looked very quick in qualifying early on and in practice. Comes across in 5th. Just the last of the few cars now, just coming across. Right, so we have it, round 1, and Sim Racers Asia's GT Series is over. Miko Nazi takes your victory. We're just going to get ourselves set up perhaps for a few interviews. If the guys want to jump in, we'll do our best. Yeah, we'll go to a quick break, give you the final standings.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Welcome back to ARL-TV, round 1, GT Series. Lee, I wonder if you can just give us a run through of the final standings, please, buddy.
Indeed, I can. So, congratulations again to Miko Nazi for the win in round 1 of the Asian Series. Just 1.5 tenths in the end ahead of Inho Yun, but so I do wonder if Yun chose just to stay behind him on that last lap, but perhaps we'll find out. P3 then, 10 seconds behind, was Andika Maluna. 4th was Dongwoo Gang. Looked like he did well just to stay out of trouble and moved up a hell of a lot of places from who else was around. 5th position was Halabi. 6th was Gafor. And those are the only runners on the same lap as the leader. So then a lap down was 7th, Kevin Hung. 8th, John Mateo. 9th, Fanny Lazardi. 10th, Stephen Bacade. 11th, Alex Chang. 12th, Did Kunkuro. 13th, Riven Tang. 14th, Fuji Satano. 15th, Mark Lang. 16th, Young Hae Oh. 17th, Shane Reynolds. Nice easy name again. 18th was Nazirul Peugeot. 19th was Chandra Yong. And then rounding out the top 20 was Mohammed Noor.
Right then, let's just see, give it a couple of minutes just to see who we can get pop in for an interview. Got Kevin down there at the moment, we'll drag him up in a moment. Just see if we can get anyone else, just having a quick look back at the start. Just looked like a couple of cars got themselves out of shape in turn 1, which caused bulk of the carnage, and then of course we had, well yeah, a few guys just going a little bit wide in the blind right-hander as well. For the most part, actually, everyone got through it. Just yeah, a couple of just lost the back end early goings. So I think it's going to be an exciting championship, guys. It looks like throughout the grid there's definitely someone for everyone to race with there. So let's see what it's going to be like next week at Motorsport. Tricky turn 2 again. Right, doesn't look like we've got anybody else coming in for an interview. Let's drag Kevin up and see how we do. Hi Kevin, welcome to Commentary Box.
Hey Alex.
Just tell us a little bit about your race today. How did it go, and are you happy with that?
A little bit disappointed. I moved up to 3rd, I think, in the halfway point of the race, because I think some of the front runners ran each other off the track. I'm not sure what happened, but I just went from like 7th to 3rd, and I was fighting with Fahad. I think he was second at the time, and I was fighting so hard I didn't hear the spotter say I only have 2 laps of fuel left. So I completely forgot to check my fuel, and I ran out of fuel, and I dropped to like 9th. It was so bad. So I made my way up to 7th, and I think that's how I ended up in the final standings.
Yeah, we did point out, we did see you run out of fuel. Sorry, it is on air. But we thought you were quite a bit short as well there, so we thought perhaps you pushed it 1 lap. But so easy done is it to miss the spotter and just go that 1 extra lap, and you're just like, you've done it as you cross. Well, not even as you cross the line, but when you just miss the pit in, you think, oh no, this is not going to be good.
That feeling. I saw. I was checking. I was like, it's impossible. I looked at the lap and I forgot, and I looked at I couldn't. There's no way I can make 17 laps on the fuel tank. So I knew I was that feeling. My stomach just went, like sunk down. It's terrible.
Well, it looks like there's going to be some interesting battles out there this season. I mean, when you entered in for the championship, what was your targets for the overall championship?
My target was top 10, conservatively, and hopefully top 5. But I think my pace is only top 10, and I can only make the top 5 if people in front battle and take each other off the track. So yeah, so I'm kind of happy with 7th, but I had third. It was so easy. I had like a 10-second gap between the next person. I was just taking it easy, and I completely forgot to pit for fuel. Such a rookie mistake.
Well, you know what happens. We all learn by our mistakes. I'm sure you won't be doing it for the rest of the season. I look forward to seeing you trying to improve on that 7th place next week.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
While you're here, we always give the opportunity to shout out to any sponsors or teammates or anything like that you might have. It's good for us to get to know you guys as well. So take it away if you've got anyone you wanna shout out.
My teammate's Fuji, and I'm not sure how he did pretty well. I think maybe 15th or 14th, but Team Greater China is what we're part of. In our series, we have a separate separate championship for countries. And I'm actually from Taiwan, but unfortunately Taiwan's not big enough to represent. There's only like three drivers from Taiwan, so we have to be grouped with China and Hong Kong. So Fuji, for this race we're teammates. Hopefully next race we'll have more people. With scheduling problems this race, we weren't able to get more people. I think Malaysia did really well. Miko Nasi and a few others. They had a really strong showing this race.
Oh well, we'll be interested to keep an eye on those stand-ins as well, and keep the viewers apprised as what's going on. Well, congratulations and unlucky today. Obviously, could have been so much more, but good luck next week, mate.
Thanks. I'm surprised I got 7th, so yeah, not too bad.
Cheers, Kevin. Right, let's.
Hey, Kevin.
Sorry, I've just nicked your Fuji. I believe you're Kevin's teammate, are you not?
Yes, I am. We are in the same team representing Greater China.
Well, just tell us a little bit about how your race went on today.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I can't really hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Just tell us a little bit about how your race went today.
Oh, I think it went pretty well. I started 26th. I know that I didn't have the pace for the race today, being the first race of the season and being a new car. I just kept, I tried to keep it clean, in the end I ended up 14th, so I think it was a pretty good race in the end for me.
Yeah, fought through well. I mean, is Road Atlanta a circuit that you like? I mean, good solid race pace there and moved up through the pack, so...
Yeah, I've raced at Road Atlanta a couple of times. I've been racing there through different series. Started with the Skip Barber, and then I moved up into the Star Mazda But this is really the first time that I'm racing the track on the rough car. So I think it was a pretty good result for me.
Yeah, and what's obviously first round's gone now, so what's your opinion on how balanced the cars are out there?
Sorry, you'd have to repeat that.
Yeah, sorry, I was just saying, how even do you think the cars' performances are out there today?
I think it's hard to judge being the first race and all. I think we'll have to wait until the second or third race to really see how different car classes compare to each other. But just looking at the results today, it seems like the rough and the McLaren had a similar pace. We didn't have a lot of Ford GTs on the track today, so I can't really judge. But yeah, we'll have to see in the next few races.
Yeah, it certainly looks like the organisers did a great job in evening out the cars. I'm looking forward to the rest of the championship. Motorsport up next week, or Canadian Tire Motorsport, however you want to call it. How do you like your track, and what's your targets for that one?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one at Canadian Motorsport. In a way, it's a similar track to Road Atlanta. Fast corners, tricky downhill sections. So we'll have to see. We'll organize a couple of practice sessions throughout the week. And yeah, I really look forward to having the next race next Saturday.
Well, congratulations on making it home, getting a reasonable amount of points for the first round, and yeah, I look forward to seeing how you do next week.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to the organizers, Sim Racers Asia. We did a really great job starting out the season in 2014. So yeah, the participation for the race today was really outstanding. We had, I think, more than 20 or 25 racers across the globe, but mainly coming from the Asia region. So yeah, really good. Really happy with the turnout today.
Yeah, thanks. Well said. Right, cheers for you. See you next week.
All right, thank you.
Right then, fellas, round one, GT Series done and dusted. I think that battle for the championship is going to be quite an exciting one. There's a lot of drivers out there that could have potentially won today's race. Top 5 early on, instants here and there. Some good sportsmanship shown as well. I think we're on for a good season.
Yeah, it was a good first race. I was quite thankful for the close battle between first and second, because the rest of the field were quite strung out. So how much of that was just from the turn 1 instant, and how much closer we're going to see in the rest of the season? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to Sim Racers Asia as well for putting this on, getting us involved with it. We're glad that we can jump on board and broadcast, and yeah, we're looking forward to next week, Canadian Motorsport Park. I'm just having a quick look actually to see a 30-lap race as well, standard default weather as well. So yeah, should be a very interesting race. Another circuit, as was pointed out, very similar to Road Atlanta. A couple of tricky corners that might catch a few drivers out. And that long back straight as well. So we had a fantastic V8 supercar race just a couple of weeks ago now. So yeah, I think we're going to be on for a good show that week. So yeah, tune in if you're watching now. Yeah, tune in same time, and we'll be back. Obviously, if you want to catch the earlier broadcast from sort of 10 o'clock GMT time as well, we've got the V8 supercars. So bit of a Super Saturday going on now for us each week here at ARL-TV. But for everybody that tuned in today, thanks very much for watching. Lee, Mark, Dean, thanks fellas, been great help in the box today, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yep, will do, mate.